So I'm here working on the Belvedere a little bit, taking a little bit of a break from the quarter panel. I've been doing that a while, just wanted to kind of change it up, do something else. This is the ashtray out of the dash. I'm probably not going to use this one just because it's really scaly and bad on the inside, but I'm just going to use this as a test piece for kind of a how I want to maybe paint the dash. It is going back to like a factory style black. Well, I guess we'll see how good of factory I can replicate. Um, so I stripped this down to bare metal, got it wiped down. I've got some self-etching primer to go right to the bare metal. And then I'm going to use just this kind of just experiment. Some black Rustoleum textured paint because these dashes were textured a little bit from the factory, but I think that's going to be too much texture. So I just got some Satin Black to go over top of that. So we'll see if I can kind of mimic the factory sort of feel to it, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know for sure if I'm going to be able to do that or not, but we will we will definitely find out one way or another. So I got my primer here all shaken up. I got to hold the camera with one hand. Might get a little overspray on the car, but that doesn't really matter. So we'll shoot this quick. And I don't care about overspray on the overall, like the rusty area of the ashtray there. Like I said, I'm probably not going to use this one anyways, so we will see how it turns out. Try to get all angles. And this is just a test piece, but we will let that dry quick and I'll come back when I start shooting a little bit of black on it. Well, the ashtray is at least dry enough for our, no, that's the wrong can, but our texture paint. Shake it up real good. I did do a little test spot on this, just on a piece of scrap metal. You definitely want to keep a bit of distance away or else you'll just lay it on heavy and then the texture factor won't even like apply to it. So we'll have to, I mean, I'm keeping quite a distance away, probably 10 inches. And for some reason it's not laying down exactly the way I want, but we'll just keep going a little bit. I think I'll need to do another coat. You can see the texture a little bit. It's not quite what I thought. I thought it would actually be a little bit more like this overspray. But we'll let that sit and then add another coat in a minute. So what I actually ended up doing is I actually stripped it back down to bare metal because I actually dropped it because I just bumped into the car and it fell. But that's not too big of a deal. I stripped it down, put 2 coats of the self-etching primer, and now this is 2 coats of the Rustoleum textured paint in black, as you can see. So, I mean, it looks really good. But from another video I seen, I definitely understand what they were talking about when, like, this looks really good, and you could do this if you wanted to have this kind of a finish on your dash or on any part of your car you wanted to do this to. But as compared to factory, it's a bit more grainy, a bit more rough. But as far as how it came out of the can and everything, really decent. I would just hold it back. You know, usually you hold about maybe 6 inches away. I would almost go back like 10, maybe 12. Um, and make sure you got a clean surface and you don't want to load this on super heavy or else it'll kind of build up and pile up and it'll act like a normal paint and it won't really have the textured quality that you're looking for. So, but yeah, that is what we have just on the textured paint. Um, so I'm going to set this down where it won't fall this time, hopefully. Show you so this is what I have. Rustoleum textured. Indoor, outdoor, metal, wood, and more. So I mean, for this to go on a dash, it doesn't have to be super durable, especially if you're doing something specifically on like a ashtray or something like that. That's probably not going to get used a bunch. So, but yeah, we'll just kind of let that sit and dry, and then we will uh, go over it again with our satin black. So we will see how that looks, and I'll bring you guys back once I get that done. Well, I hit it with a quick, this is a very light coat of satin black. I think it turned out pretty good. I'm gonna try one more coat just to see how it comes out, and we'll just kind of see from there. Like I said, this is just a test piece. I'm not actually gonna end up using this. More of just kind of a sample of what I could do in the future when I get my other dash here, because I will be stripping that down, or at least mostly stripping it down, and then painting it black. So, um, but yeah, as you can see, it kind of filled in a little bit of that texture. There still is a texture. I think that the texture it has right now is there's just a little bit more texture now than it had from the factory, but I think it's pretty close. So I'm going to shoot just one more quick coat on it, and I will bring you guys back once I get that done and mostly dry. Well, one more coat of satin black later, and this is what we have. Um, you could probably do another coat, but this is probably what I would end up doing. I would probably have this kind of level of texture. And then it's probably a little bit shinier than factory would be, but I believe that this is probably going to be the route that I go for my dash. But definitely let me know what you guys think of this kind of just quick little test idea. Definitely let me know in the comments section. One thing I didn't realize, and it kind of came back to bite me in the end. It wasn't really that big of a deal, but it just I didn't really realize it when I bought it. This satin black or matte black, it says, paint. It's good stuff, but I didn't realize that I bought more of a car style paint, which is perfectly fine. But the tip on this, I don't know if you can see, it's like a horizontal line. It shoots out kind of like a spray gun would, like an actual paint gun. So it's good for bigger jobs. I bet this would actually be very, very useful for a lot of things. It just was not useful for what I needed it for. But with that being said, it'll be good enough for now. And that'll actually be a bit better for when I do the whole dash, because that's a larger piece. It's probably comparable to painting a bumper. So, as far as overall size, so that's not a bad thing to have. And then the Rustoleum textured paint, that turned out fine. Sprays fine. Sprays very nice and clean overall. No problems there. No complaints. My only piece of advice, again, like I've said a couple times, just don't be super close to the panel you're painting with it. So, but anyways, I think that turned out pretty good. I'm happy with it. I like how it turned out. This is probably what I'm going to end up doing for mine. So definitely let me know what you guys think. And I know that there is paint that's designed for the dash that you can buy. I'm well aware of that. I just wanted something. This is probably a little bit cheaper, a little bit quicker. Not quite as easy, I'm sure, but it turned out pretty good. Total, the primer was $4. The Rustoleum Textured was under $5, and this was like the satin was like 5, maybe 5 and change. So I've got $15 into this. This should be enough to do my whole dash. So, and even if I had to get more, it is over the counter, available at, pretty much anywhere. I got this at Menards, which is pretty much the same as like Home Depot or Lowe's or anything like that. So definitely consider it if you're looking to redo a dash and want to do something quick and simple. And the other thing is, I could have ordered the correct stuff and it would have been perfectly fine. It probably would have turned out a little bit better than this did. Um, but I didn't want to potentially get caught up in any sort of shipping delay or supply shortage related things. And this was available right over the counter. So that's what I decided to do. And then another thing I did, excuse the mess, I took this, it's still drying, this header panel, not header panel, but it's like the piece of trim that goes across the front between the A-pillars that the visors go by it and stuff like that. So I took that off. I stripped that down with 120 grit, primed it twice, and then did just the matte black. So we'll see how that turns out. I think it should be okay, and if it doesn't, I mean, I'll strip it back down and spray it with something else. The interior will be black. I've decided on that. If you guys have any recommendations on door panel related things, I think it sounds kind of fun to almost make my own, and it's not a very difficult thing to do, I wouldn't imagine. I actually saw a video the other day, or yesterday, I think it was, of DD Speed Shop was doing door panels for for one of his Chevys. So I think it would be relatively easy, and there's all kinds of holes for clips on the outside, or if I was to do, even if I had to do a couple of screws, I'm not really bothered by putting a screw or two, or maybe even three, into the door, especially if it would be such a small thing that if somebody wanted to go back and do something about it later, it's just welding up a tiny little hole, and it's something you would never see anyways. But I definitely want to do black, or maybe black with maybe a little bit of blue in the door panel, maybe kind of like a 70s theme. I don't know. I don't know what you guys think that kind of would go with the car being it was a late 70s drag car to my knowledge. So definitely let me know what you think on that and other interior related things. I'm going to be taking a lot of chrome out of the interior, the little trim that holds up the headliner and related things. Not that there is a headliner, but pulling that kind of stuff. And I'll see if I can get the chrome to polish up. And if I can, great. If not, maybe it'll just be driver quality, or maybe I end up painting it. I don't really want to paint it because it's not right, but we will just kind of cross that bridge when we come to it. So anyways, I guess that's pretty much it, and I'll see you guys in the next one.